Ladies and gentlemen, the unusual artistry of Sid Croft.
Hi everybody. I gotta tell you, I was so looking forward to see and talk to my longtime fans at Comic-Con, Pasadena, today. And I gotta tell you something. I was definitely ready to go, and all the people surrounding me didn't think it was a good idea because they definitely didn't want me to get sick, or I don't know. I wasn't afraid of that. And so, honestly, I was really willing, and I apologize to everybody that's there waiting to see me. But I gotta tell you something. I came up with this idea. So if you are there now at Comic-Con, I'm going, and you do want an autograph, my booth is still there, and there's people running it. And I'm going to do a personal video for each one of you. And I promise you, I'll get it back to you as quickly as possible. So thank you so much. And I'm going to see you real soon. Because, you know, it really hurt me because I've never missed a show when I did my act. 20 years. And I remember when I was just a kid and performing, and you know how kids get all kinds of crazy illnesses, but my dad would insist, the old corny saying, the show must go on. But I also thought, well, maybe I had to go on because I supported my family. And if I didn't, then they had to suffer too. But here I am, and I'm fine. And like I said, I hope to see you all real soon. Okay, Sundays with Sid. This Sunday, which is my 91st show, and today it's going to be the Kelly and Sid show. And beautiful ladies, you know, get top billing. So I'm a cool guy, and I...
So you're giving yourself top billing?
No, it's the Kelly and Sid show.
Hi, everybody.
Kelly,
I got Sid's back today.
Yeah. And so I know Kelly has a lot of questions to ask me that probably I have never heard before, and I can see she's got a list.
I have a list.
Yeah, and so.
And I can also see you guys too. We have a great setup here. So if you guys have questions, don't put them in the question box. I can't get up and read them, but you can just click the button at the bottom to ask a question where it has a little question, or actually don't do that. Just put it in the chat. Run it by the chat. Bringing fans on to join us, it's going to be really difficult because the phone is like 7 feet away from me. So I don't think we're going to be doing that today. But we're going to chat.
Okay, I got to say one thing, Kelly, about you.
Do it.
I love you, and I want everybody out there to know it's a different kind of love because Kelly has the coolest husband and 3 beautiful kids. And so, oh well, Kelly, you've got
Don't listen to him.
You got the mic. You got the mic.
If he were younger and I were older, we would be a horrific couple. It would be amazing. We'd be the odd couple. Faux show. Okay. All right. So, as we know, Sid, you were born in Canada.
Yeah.
What was it like moving to the U.S.? What did your first house look like?
Well, I think I told you the story, and maybe the first time we came to America was 1938. The whole family came, and there was a house on the beach. We rented it for like $25 a month, and it was part of a big mansion, and it was like a little wooden shack. I definitely remember it. And we stayed a little longer, Kelly, because it was like an Indian summer. It was in Rhode Island, and not far from Newport Beach. It was so beautiful. There was a lighthouse, and I used to go up in the attic. You had to crawl in the attic of this house, and there was a little sort of a half-round window up there, and I'd lay on my tummy and all day long waiting for ships to go by. And it was really odd that a ship, I was looking for a ship, not just a little motorboat. And it was like a fantasy house. We stayed, and September 21st, 1938, one of the biggest hurricanes, the only family that survived on our street was our family. And of course, I remember that image. 1939, I was 9 years old. And so we never went back to Canada because we lost everything. But that could be a whole show because it's a great story.
So you started out as a puppeteer. How old were you?
10.
So it was a year after the hurricane.
Well, we moved to Providence, and I know you've heard this story before, but I'm running out of stories, Kelly.
No, you're not.
I'm not?
No.
I guess 82 years of stories would take more than 91 shows.
Sid always says, I'm running out of content. I'm running out of content. I don't know how a human can run out of content. I really don't.
After 82 years of being in show business, I guess you're right.
Yeah, no, you're not going to. Okay, so a lot of people ask, did you make your puppets?
No. No. There was a puppeteer in New York. Before I really got my real professional puppets, I used to buy them. There was a magazine called Billboard. It wasn't music. It was circuses and carnivals. That was the original Billboard magazine. Came out weekly, and for some strange reason, there would be ads in there for puppets. And I bought a marionette, almost a 3-foot marionette, for maybe $30, $40. Oh, and a really beautiful one for $75.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
That was like, and that's how I really started and invented my numbers that I was doing. And by the time I moved to New York in 1944 or 45, that's when I got my first agent. And
how many marionettes did you have by that time? About?
Oh, God, how can you remember that? I don't know. I had to work. I had to support my family. And so whatever monies were left over, my dad knew that this might be a profession. Because, as a street performer, when I started, it was just my $3.95 puppet with my Victrola. And I made 50 cents, 75 cents a day in the street doing my puppets, selling Christmas cards, and getting a nickel for each box that I sold.
So if all else failed, you could do that on Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, I'm a pro. I mean, being a street performer, and I knew nothing about puppetry. I'm self-taught. I didn't come from a theatrical family or anything like that. Yeah.
What is the oldest puppet you have now? Lily Lou is asking that.
Okay, the oldest puppet is my first puppet, which I still have, and her name is Dolly. I paid $3.95. I paid for it because I secretly sold Christmas cards. A box for 50 cents, I could keep a nickel. Yeah.
So did you only work with marionettes or did you work with other puppets?
No, just marionettes. Always marionettes, because the first marionette I saw was a clown that blew up a balloon, and I also told you that story, and I was in the theater by myself, and the balloon broke, and the clown got sad, and I started to cry so loud that they threw me out of the theater. So that was my first experience in even seeing a marionette before. I thought it was a real little person.
Yeah, you guys are asking to see Dolly. I'll post a photo of her in Sid's stories when we're done today, because we do have pictures. And when we very first started going on Instagram, Sid did a little, like a little live thing for us with Dolly. That was like 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, she's got 7 strings, so she can dance, and she's in great condition. Her box disintegrated. I still have it, but she's hanging out with me, and she's 82 years old.
Out of all the marionettes you used, what was your favorite marionette maker, or designer, or builder?
Well, when I moved to New York, Frank Paris was the leading puppeteer in the world, and he made all of his marionettes, and he did all of my marionettes. Beautiful, just beautiful. And his work, and when I work with a star, I usually did a number with them. I would do my act and then do a number with them of a marionette of them. The first one was Liberace. And Judy Garland wanted me to do a number with her, but in those days it would have cost, her husband didn't want to spend that kind of money, a couple of $1,000 to build we're a couple of swells. We live in the hotels, and because on our tour, sometimes we'd have the dancers, the 12 dancers, and then other times it would just be Judy Garland and me, my opening act. And she always wanted to do that number, and she thought it would be great to do it with a marionette, but it never happened. I toured the whole country with her.
So you've told me a story before, and you've told everybody out there a story before about being on color TV. What was the biggest difference between being on black and white TV and being on color TV?
Well, it was the first test, 1950, CBS, New York. They gave me $50, and it was called the Glass Hour. It was an hour. And the crew, the lighting was so intense to absorb the color, and there were only a handful of sets in New York, and maybe 5 or whatever. It was a test. I was on that show, and I started to say the crew wore helmets, because the lighting was so intense that it melted all the sequins on my marionette's costumes. And I only got $50. I don't think it was any more than that, for this test. And so how about that? I was on the first color television show, and wow. And only New York, whoever had like I said, a handful of color television sets.
Somebody just asked, did Judy Garland ever see Judy Frog or react to having seen it?
No, because Judy was gone way before. And of course, that's why I did Judy Frog. And Judy Garland's voice, I used that in so many other shows that we did. And like the Dean Martin show, one of the marionettes, or it was sort of like a Topo Gigio operation, where it was crushed in black, and there were many puppeteers that you couldn't see up. There were no strings, just all rods and different kinds of buttons. And it was like Topo Gigio, you know. Yeah.
We had posted earlier this week how you played in Vegas with Judy Garland. We posted the marquee. Was there anyone else that you had played in Vegas with?
Yeah, actually, before Judy Garland, I played a hotel that was called, oh my God, wait a minute, oh God, the Thunderbird. It's of course no longer there. The Sands Hotel with Judy Garland. We were almost the last show. We did a big show there, and maybe we'll talk about that later. But I played the Thunderbird before Judy Garland. And then I came back at the Flamingo, and they signed me for a 3-year contract where I played there at least twice a year. But I worked in Vegas, all the hotels. I played the Desert Inn and the Riviera and the Hilton, and oh God, you know, I just kept playing there with different stars as the opening act. It was a great act for an opening act because I didn't sing, I didn't dance, and it was all incredible music, and it was visual. It was about 18 minutes long, and without being on an ego trip, my act was a trip. I mean, it was incredible. I miss it. Yeah.
Somebody asked, did you ever play the Borscht belt?
Of course. Oh wow. Yeah. Isn't that my favorite story?
Well, don't tell it again.
Why not? Don't even tell it again. Oh, I love playing there. $10 a show I got. $10. Because I never played Grossinger's. That's where I did eventually. And in order to really make $30 on a weekend, you had to double on Saturday night. Oh wait, just 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. They never had a show on Sunday. So, wow, I made $30. That was a lot of money, you know. But can I tell my favorite story? You know.
Can I stop you from telling your favorite story? Nope.
No.
So go on.
Okay, a lady came up to me in this hotel, in the elevator. No, I was on the elevator, the doors open. She looked over at me and she said, I guess she saw the show. Are you the boy with the puppetsy schmuppetsies? I said, I guess, if that's what you want to call them. So she said, tell me, who makes the dresses, your mother? I said, no. And she just kept talking. She didn't really even wait for my answer. So where did you get the dolls, in Woolworth? And I said, no. And then she said, are you married? I said, I'm 14 years old. She said, my daughter, she looks like Elizabeth Taylor, and she dances like Rita Hayworth. She's in the lobby. I can't wait for you to meet my daughter, who's also my age. The door opens up, and, well, I shouldn't say this, because you'll think I'm a bad person. It was like the bride of Frankenstein, the daughter. And the daughter almost immediately handed me the key to her room. She said, anytime you want to come and visit me, here, put the key in your pocket, in front of her mother. So, it's my favorite stories. Puppetsy, schmuppetsy. Okay? Okay.
All right. We have somebody waiting in the wings.
Oh, I know we do. We have a guest star today.
I have to remove myself because I got to go 7 feet closer to the phone.
Okay, first I have to tell you. Okay, Mike, I'm sorry, Rick Michel. We had a show in Vegas at the Sands Hotel right before it closed. Sid Marty Krofft, the big production. It was called Comedy Kings. And it ran there almost a year, right before the hotel was torn down, because now it's the Venetian Hotel. And of course, the Sands Hotel is where Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack, and they had the biggest stars on the planet, played that hotel. And in this show that we did, Comedy Kings, we had 4 voice people because it was life-size puppets. There were humans in it, and even stars that work with the puppets. It was an amazing show. Joe Layton, who did Bette Midler and Broadway shows and did Siegfried and Roy, he directed it. Okay, and there were four of the most incredible voice people, and Rick Michel was one of them. And I am so proud. He is awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, he's going to join us, Rick Michel. So Rick, push a button and you're on. There we go. It always takes. Oh, there's a blank screen. Hello? Is there sound?
Yeah, there's sound.
Okay. How come we can't see anything?
Because we were supposed to do something, Sid.
No, you're supposed to do it. I'm not a performer at this point. Yeah.
Well, now, hold on a second.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Casey Kasem with the top 40 hits of American pop. And we got Frank Sinatra on the top of the list this week with Lady is a Tramp. She
cool.
gets hungry to wait for dinner at 8. She loves Sid Croft, but she'll never get here late. And she won't even bother with guys that she hates. That's why the lady, she's a tramp. Hey, Sid.
Hey, that is so cool. I know you're in Vegas right now, and Rick, in a couple of
Las
weeks, you
Vegas.
got to tell us what's happening with a big band.
Oh, well, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to be performing 2 weeks from today at the Italian American Club down on Sahara, just like Sahara and Eastern. And I'm going to be performing with an all-star big band. And my drummer played with Frank Sinatra Jr. One of my trumpet players actually played with Frank Sr., Elvis, and now he plays with Lady Gaga. So I've got guys that are coming in from Utah, from Arizona, just to be in this band to do my show, my internationally acclaimed show, Sinatra Forever. It's pays homage to Frank Sinatra and his music, the American Songbook, and I get to sing about an hour and a half, and I may even throw a little Dean Martin or maybe even The Godfather.
How cool! Hey,
yeah, I'm so excited.
No, it's going to be in the Italian.
The Italian American Club. I believe you have a flyer. I don't know if you've posted it up yet.
Yeah, we'll put it up in the stories.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, yeah,
because if you're in Vegas, go check it out. Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm so excited just to sing with this band. It's 12 piece band, 9 horns. You got 3 trumpets, 2 trombones, 4 saxes, and 3 rhythm. And it's just going to be a love fest because I've played with these guys for over 30 years, some of them. And, and also, you were reminiscing about the Comedy Kings. I mean, we had such great times at the Sands Hotel, Sid, and looking forward to working with you again in the future.
Well, some of those musicians played our music, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Explain how we did it. You guys.
Oh my God! The musicians. The musicians were on the 3rd floor of the Sands Hotel, literally above the showroom, and they had monitors where they could see the puppets, and they would hear the voices. The voices were off stage, stage left. We had 4 voice people: myself, Randy Credico, Bethany Owen, and Mindy Siegel. Yeah, Mindy Siegel. So the 4 of us are off stage looking at the puppets on these individual monitors that you set up for us. We had these Manhasset stands with the scripts, and we're reading the script as the 16 puppeteers are on stage doing all these skits. And occasionally Bethany would come out and do her bit. I'd come out and do my bit. I remember one time you guys were looking, John Biner hosted the show for 6 months, and you were looking for other hosts at that time because he was leaving after 6 months. And before Mickey Rooney or Sherman Hemsley came on, you brought in Jerry Lewis. And I'll never forget the time I was doing Jerry and Dean in the show. And I was more knowing that Jerry Lewis is in the audience, I was more nervous doing Dean Martin than Jerry Lewis. And at the end of the show, Jerry comes up to me and goes, "Rick, you should have done more of me." And I'm going, okay.
He did so many shows for us. And of course, we were on the Dean Martin show,
right?
On I guess it was NBC, and we were on every week with the puppets.
And you had Rodney Dangerfield come in, and I was doing Rodney's voice in the show, and Bill Cosby, and he came in, and we did a little bit of a Christmas skit at one of the malls, and I'm sitting right next to Bill Cosby doing Bill Cosby. It was kind of a very, very unusual circumstance, but it was fun. It was always fun. A lot of celebrities came by, and Mickey Rooney was wonderful, and Sherman Hemsley, and well.
No, you're amazing. You're just amazing. I mean, the voices that you do, and I know your Frank Sinatra concert, you've traveled all over the world.
All over the world.
Brazil a lot.
Yeah, I've been in Brazil a couple of times. I've been in Chile 3 times, Costa Rica a couple of times. For Sinatra's 100th birthday in 2015, I was in New Zealand and Auckland. And I've played in Mexico and Canada, and I'm going back to Chile in March for three concerts, and they have a great big band there, 12-piece band, and it's in one of the casinos, the Monticello Casino in Santiago, Chile. It's a 4,000-seat arena, and I'm looking forward to doing that. It'll be my.
And the money you get, don't gamble.
No. You know what? You know what, Sid? I got to tell you, I've been living in Vegas since 1981, and you cannot live here and gamble. I mean, you just can't. I found that out the first time I performed at the Tropicana in 1981. And they gave me my paycheck, and you could cash it at the Cage. And I said, "Oh, that's cool, great." I got the cash. They said, "Oh yeah, and they give you 2 free tickets for drinks." I go, "Oh, great, 2 drinks." So that's all it took for me. I was a lightweight back then. I had those 2 cocktails, and that was the end of my paycheck. I mean, that went right back to the casino. So
No, you know what?
I would never
You
do
know
it
what
again.
I used to do, Rick? I'd
What's that?
take $20, and that was it. That was the limit. And then there was one time I won $500 on a slot,
Wow.
and I quit right away. And the person that was with me, they got half. But let me tell you about Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, at the beginning of every show, I, I'm sure there are new people tuning in. They're wondering what that gong is all about. You know, the
Yeah.
unusual artistry of Sid Croft. Well, that's the way my act used to open up in the dark. The MC would always off stage would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the unusual artistry of Sid Croft." And I traveled with the biggest gong in the world, right? Okay,
Wow.
now Frank Sinatra is doing all the musicians knew about this gong,
Uh-huh.
my gong. And Frank Sinatra was doing his new album on the road to Mandalay.
Uh,
There's a gong in it. So
right.
I want everybody out there, when you hear him sing it and you hear my gong, that is my gong. That's not the end of the story, okay? The world's biggest gong I own. Okay, now we're doing DC Follies. I never
Yeah.
worked with Sinatra. We would always follow him, or he'd be before us in one of the hotels, the
Uh-huh.
Fontainebleau. Yeah, he followed Judy Garland at the Fontainebleau. But he, we did a show called DC Follies, and we were
Fred
introducing
Willard.
a
Fred Willard was Fred Willard was the
yeah,
bartender.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we had a Frank Sinatra puppet,
Right.
and after the show, we heard from his lawyers, and he didn't like the puppet. He loved the voice
Huh.
because it was him a little older, not as a teeny bopper singer. And so
Right.
he was going to sue us. So we
Wow.
never, yeah. And I
Wow.
gave him my gong free. And so, so that's
That's
my
funny.
Frank Sinatra story. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a great story that when I was working with Rich Little for 3 years. We were on the road together, and I would do Jerry Lewis to his Dean Martin. I did Julio Iglesias to his Willie Nelson, and I did Bob Hope to his Bing Crosby, and so one day he calls me up, goes, "Rick, I'd like you to come out to Palm Springs. I want to fly you out there, and we're going to do Bob Hope's Celebrity Golf Tournament." This is 1995. And Les Brown is going to bring you on. And it was during rehearsals, and I hung out with Bob during rehearsals with Rich. And I had worked with Les Brown 20 years earlier. And I sang with him and Stubby, and he remembered me, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "So I had the prosthetic nose as I did in the show, and they bring me on to do Bob Hope, the thanks for the memory. But before that, the whole room was empty, and the first person, I had no idea he was going to show up, but the first person that walked in that room was Frank and Barbara Sinatra. And I looked at him and I go, "Oh my God, this would be the third time that I'd met him." And so I said, "Mr. Sinatra, would you mind if we got another photo together?" And he says, "Absolutely not." So I got a picture with him and Barbara, and then I got one with him alone. And at the front table, this is 1,500 people in the round. At the front table was Frank and Barbara Sinatra. You had Bob and Dolores Hope, and you had President and Ford and Betty Ford were at the front table. I mean, there were so many. So you had Yogi Berra and Arnold Palmer, Leslie Nielsen, Andy Williams, Robert Goulet was in the show with us. So here I am doing Bob Hope for Bob Hope in front of Sinatra. And after the show, he said, "Rick, you were marvelous, simply marvelous." And that's all you want to hear from Frank, know. And I got a great picture with Bob and me with the nose, without the nose, and it was a surreal situation. It's one of those
See,
showbiz
that
show.
that's why I had you on today, because you are famous and
Oh
you
no,
have touched all these
no,
famous
I'm not.
people.
I'm not
You know,
famous. I'm not famous. No, no, I'm not famous.
see,
I try
I'm
to.
infamous and you are famous.
You're
You know what I mean?
infamous.
Yeah. Hey, Rick.
Am I in the
Thank.
shadows? Oh yeah, there I
Yeah,
am.
you're good. You look
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm
fantastic.
good. Just
Hey,
checking.
Rick.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much for coming on, and
Oh, Sid,
I
I got to
love
thank you.
you.
I love you too, and thank you for supporting me all these years.
Oh,
You
well,
know,
you're a
I'll
talented guy, and we all have to hang out with the most talented people
we got
always.
lucky. We got lucky,
Yeah,
Sid. But
we got
I'll
lucky.
I'll leave. You know what? I'll leave you. I'll leave you with this, Sid. How's this? Hold
Okay.
on a second. Here, hold on. Hold on here.
Oh, my
Hold
favorite
on.
song. Oh, yeah,
This is one of your favorite songs, I know.
that's right.
Chicago, Chicago. No, no, no. Just kidding. All right. Start spreading the news.
Yeah.
Well, I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. I hope all you people out there watching the Sid Croft Show will come on out on Sunday, 2 weeks from today, February 6th at 8 o'clock. There's a 6:30 dinner, 8 o'clock show. The tickets are only $65, and you get to hear a great big band and a bunch of Sinatra. All right. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps, to find I'm king of the hill, top of that heap. All right, Sid, I love you, buddy.
Oh,
And
I
we'll
love
talk
you
real soon,
too.
okay?
Thank you and good luck.
All right.
Yeah.
God
Thanks,
love you.
Rick.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
A brand new start of it in old New York.
That is so
Oh,
cool.
that's
Hey,
great.
thank you. Applause, applause.
Are you
Wow.
gonna dance for us now? I felt
No,
like you
you
needed to
don't.
get up and dance.
No, you just sway
Oh
with that
no, you
song.
gotta
You don't
dance.
dance.
No,
You,
that's
you
like
know,
what foxtrot sort of
no,
dancing to
no.
that.
Uh, if you go to New Year's Eve at in New York, that's what they close with. Right after the New Year comes in, you always hear Frank Sinatra singing New York, New York.
The only
Wow.
people who sway are people who can't dance.
Well, then I sway.
Oh, we've got to post you dancing.
No, I learned how, when I was in London, I have to show that on one of these days you got to shoot it. When I was in London, it was right after the war, and oh God, it was they were trying to rebuild the whole city, and there were no restaurants that were open, and the food and everything was, it was really difficult. A lot of fog, in that city. You had to cut your way through at night, walking in the streets. So I went to Arthur Murray, you know, and I
The
had
real Arthur Murray?
the Arthur Murray to learn how to dance just as a joke, just to take up a couple of hours because my show was only at night. And so I never forgot the steps. I learned 3 steps. I went for maybe 5, 6 months, once a week. Yeah. And then I went to finishing school to learn how to.
Wait, how old were you?
This is in London in the 50s. I
Okay.
don't know how old I was.
29, 39, 40. So you're in your 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You went to finishing school in your 20s.
Yeah.
Okay.
To learn. Well, I'm in London to learn what's proper. Where do you put your knife? Where do you put your fork? How do you hold your fork? Well, I didn't learn a thing. I don't know how much that cost me. I love eating with my hands anyway, so forget the fork and the knife and the spoon. Okay, so Kelly,
Yes.
This is our 91st show.
Yes.
I'm thinking about who do you talk about London? Who do you think we're going to have on for the 100th show? The 100th show.
Oh, we were talking about this. We should have the Queen on.
The Queen of England. We should. Wouldn't that be a trip? Do you know
I
what?
don't think she will.
No, but I met her.
So does that mean she'll come on?
No.
Do you have her secret?
No,
her
she
secret
came
phone
backstage. Number? It was the night of 100 stars at the Palladium. I did 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes, that's all they allowed us to do. And then we lined up backstage. It was a charity. It was a 5-hour show. And she was sitting in the royal box. And I actually faced the Queen. But when she came to me, she had the lady in waiting behind her because she didn't know who the hell anybody was. And the lady in waiting had to tell her. And whatever she told her, the Queen said to me, "Ooh, what cute little dollies." I almost gave her the finger. I really, because that's what my dad said to me when I asked.
He told you to give her the finger?
No. No.
Tell me about your dad. He wanted you to give the Queen the finger. I get it.
No, because when I wanted my first dolly, my first puppet, I went to him and said, "It's $3.95. And he said, "You're a boy and you want a dolly?" And I never forgot that word. So when I bought my first puppet, guess which puppet off the, you could choose a male or female or whatever.
You bought the dad doll.
I bought the dolly doll. Does that mean I misbehaved my parents?
Yeah, of course.
It was. I wasn't like that. The only thing that
Except you wanted to give the Queen the finger.
Well, I mean, I heard my dad's voice in the Queen,
Right.
And I thought, why? I hadn't heard that word in all those years. And she said, "What cute little dollies." Wow. I could have been in the Bastille. No, that's France. In the Tower.
Maybe they didn't want you.
I could have been in the Tower. Still in the Tower. Okay. Question.
Yes. Okay. So you have lots of questions about your shows, your creative processes. These are all questions. If you guys have questions, write them in the comments section, because I actually have it set up where we can see what you're saying. Why does Kathy Coleman think you and Marty are from Greece? That's a great question.
It is a great question, because it was all bullshit. That's why. No, because it's such a long story. I'm
just do the
no, I'll do it real fast.
Cliff notes.
Yeah. Okay. I just closed in a Broadway show for a year. 1949. Now everybody, I was the toast of that show. I got the top reviews in that show because I did it on ice skates. Isn't that weird? Can you imagine my puppet act on ice skates?
I can't imagine a puppet act these days, let alone one on ice skates.
Okay, and so it was in a theater right next to Radio City Music Hall. It was the sister theater, and after that show closed, now I'm known all over the country. And the Hilton hotels, if you played a Hilton hotel, the Waldorf Astoria, the Plaza, the Palmer House in Chicago, that was the top. You were the biggest stars on the planet. And the Stevens Hotel, which was a Hilton hotel in Chicago, at that time was the largest hotel in the world. It had 4,000 rooms. Their showroom, they decided they were going to do a mini ice show. Maybe 6 chorus girls.
Was
and,
it in Greece?
No, wait, you're way ahead of yourself. You know, I always have to control this woman.
It's true.
Okay, so anyway, the publicist loved my act, and of all the Hilton hotels, and she decided that she said, I'm going to make a star out of you. And she put together this incredible book. We got to put it online one of these days, so everybody can see it on my Instagram. Okay, so anyway, she made up. I'm fifth generation puppeteer. You know, I came from a poor family that I supported, and you know, it was an exciting story. And from Athens, Greece, you know, and it was all bull, you know, and I had to hold on to that story for many, many years until one day I just blew my top with the LA Times.
And that wasn't that long ago either, was it?
No. The LA Times did a front page, not the front of the calendar, the front page of the LA Times. And he asked me that question. And Marty was sitting behind me. And
Like I am now.
yeah, no, he was further back. And I finally told him the real story. I got to tell you something. I got the most incredible feedback from huge stars in Hollywood because they love, you know, because most of what you hear, you know, in those days was all manufactured. The studios protected their stars,
Yeah.
you know, and if someone's going to tell you you're going to be a big star, you're going to say, no, I don't want to be a star. Are you kidding? That was the biggest thing that ever happened to me. That's how I got the Lido in Paris. You know, I got to stay in a 5-star hotel free, you know, until I found an apartment. That was a show that ran for a whole year. And, you know, she always made a big deal, you know, made me a puppet act, a little puppet act, made me the star of a show.
A Greek star.
A Greek
star.
She
made you a Greek god.
Well, look at my nose.
No, you.
I could pass
Stop
for Greek.
it. Well, that's true, but
yeah.
Still, your headshot. She turned you into a Greek god. Why weren't you taking pictures by the pool?
With my Speedo.
With your.
Yeah. Okay.
Sid and I have had these conversations before too because
she keeps wanting me to jump in my pool in my Speedo and put it and do the show.
I tell him it's going to be fantastic if he does his Sunday show by the poolside. Picture it. I can. I am laughing wholeheartedly about this, and I think it'd be fantastic. Your numbers would go through the roof.
Kelly, have you ever seen a 90?
You in a Speedo?
No. Have you ever seen a 92-year-old man in a Speedo?
Not yet, but I will. That's going to be my goal.
That will make the world.
2022. If I can get Sid Croft in a Speedo next to the pool, maybe it'll cause COVID to go away.
How do you shut
the sun
this woman up?
The world will get better.
Okay, next question.
Next question. No.
People are turning us off. This is like, wow. Look at all the questions that are coming up.
See, Greek god's hotter. Yeah, a couple margaritas. Yep, see?
No, I got to tell you.
Speedo Sundays. We're stealing it. Cool.
No, because I got to tell you, you got to show my acting pictures.
I thought you were going to say ass.
No. No, my acting pictures.
You got to show my ass when I do it in a
It's not bad for a 92-year-old.
Oh,
okay.
God. Okay.
Kelly, can I ask you a question?
Okay, fine.
That everybody asks me.
Sure.
How the hell did we meet?
How the hell did we meet?
Come on.
We were by a pool.
No, we
in
weren't.
Greece.
No.
You were wearing a Speedo, and I was like, hey, that
That guy.
80-something-year-old man's really hot, that Speedo there by the pool.
Oh, we're gonna be arrested.
It's going to be
No,
great.
No.
No.
What do we,
But see, the real stories aren't as fun. Well, I guess they are. So I used to own a bird shop, and Sid's niece, Deanna, came into my bird shop, and she said, I'm looking for a gift for my uncle, because you guys know you hear the birds in this house. So, oh yeah, did you ever meet Freddie Mercury? What brand of tequilas Kelly drank? I don't drink. We don't drink. We're way more fun
I
sober.
can't even get her to smoke a joint.
No.
Which I don't do anymore, but
No.
you know, I ask her that. She
so.
said it makes me laugh.
I did not ever say
It makes me hungry. Okay, go ahead. Okay,
So,
go ahead.
Deanna bought a bird cage for Sid for his birthday, and this was like probably almost 12 years ago now. And then when we came up here, he asked me, he said, oh, do you groom birds too? I said, yeah. So I've been visiting with Sid on and off for 12 years. So, and then when he had his surgery 2 years ago is when I remember walking out the door, and I said, if you need any help, just reach out. And he said, no, I'll be fine, because he's stubborn, very stubborn, and does everything on his own. And I said, no, if you need help, I mean it. Like, I live right down the hill. And he's like, no, I won't need any help. And I said, okay, fine. I won't help you, but if you need any help with your animals, I'll come up and I'll help. And he said, okay, fine. So he had his surgery, and I checked in on him, and he said he was fine. And then about a week later, he called me and he said, okay, yeah, I need help. So after that, I've been up here every
7 days a week.
every day, twice a day.
Twice a day. Well,
up until recently.
yeah.
Why?
Why?
Because of the kitties.
Oh.
That's
yeah.
really what
Yeah,
it was.
we lost two little brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they
I was
were
up
with
here.
me 15 years, and I think they had a really incredible life. You know.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we've been in the last since 2000, the end of 2019. So that's been more than 2 years. So the end of 2019, I was trying, when he had his surgery, and I was here every day. I was here for hours every day, and I would sit literally at his feet next to him, and he would just tell me these amazing stories. And so as he was telling me these stories, I turned to him one day and I said, who's heard these? And he said, well, nobody. He said, I would go out to certain places, and they would ask, usually with him and his brother, and they would ask him the same questions. And he said, nobody's interested in what I have to say. I was like, hold your horses, because I beg to differ. And it took me 6 months. And even if you go back to the beginning of Sid's Instagram, he didn't agree to me. I created the Instagram without him agreeing. He didn't agree. At the Star, I was behind him and videotaping, and he didn't know about it. And it was a very touchy thing, because he kind of didn't want us doing any of that. So I finally told him, I said, I posted you on this, and I really think we should do like a Sundays with Sid. And he said, okay, fine. And then he insisted that we pre-tape. So in the beginning, if you go back and look, he was very stagnant. He wanted everything pre-taped. He wanted to edit it. He wanted to see what he looked like. He wanted all that stuff. And he was just like, I don't feel comfortable talking to people. Nobody wants to hear me. And as you see now, we can't shut him up. So you're welcome.
Well, there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
But this is only an hour show.
Oh, it is? Oh, well, we've
Yeah.
got 7 minutes. So I need to steal some time. So here you go. About, 3 weeks ago, Instagram started doing these badge things at the bottom, and it just asked us one day, it was like, do you qualify? Do you want to do badges? So for those of you who have seen the badges at the bottom, and for those of you that have been purchasing badges, thank you, because most of you don't know, Sid and I just do this for fun. This isn't my job. I don't get paid for this. This is literally he and I bitching at each other all week long over what we post, what we're going to talk about. So Thank you for those of you who are doing the badges. It is much appreciated. And for that sort of thing, this is like total shoestring budget. We are sitting in front of a phone that is attached to a monitor so Sid can see what you guys say. We have a ring light. And basically, we just have fun every Sunday. And we reach out to people and they reach out to us. And we try to make it interesting. And I really feel like Sid's life is so filled with so much. And for him, every single week to be like, we're running out of content. What are we going to post this
No,
week?
but you want to, can I jump in?
Absolutely. No.
I got to tell you, everybody out there, I love doing this. I love sharing my stories with you, because I think I said at the beginning, if you could just, this is my life, long life. If you can just grasp one little thing and use it in your life, you know, I was in vaudeville, I was in burlesque, I was in a circus, I was in everything you can name. We've made movies and television shows and, you know, everything. You know, I worked for a company called Magic Leap for 3 years, a totally technical. I didn't know what the hell they were even talking about when they, you know, when they approached me. And I remember even saying to the man that created the robots that operate on people, that's who approached me and sold that company and got this incredible idea. There's 2,500 people working there from NASA. I didn't know anything about that, you know. And when they came to my house and showed me something, I backed up. I didn't even at that time know David Copperfield. And I backed up and I said, who are you, David Copperfield? It was like a magic trick or something, you know. It was amazing. And by the way, David Copperfield called me 1 minute before we were ready to go on. David knows I go on at 3 o'clock every Sunday. And I said, I'll call you back. David Copperfield. I hope he doesn't make me disappear, because I love being on this planet. I love sharing everything with you. And I really, honestly, thank you so much. You know, we don't know who at this point who's going to join us next week.
And it doesn't matter, because you guys will join us, and that's all that matters. Sid's so cute, because in the beginning it was just like, okay, what are we going to talk about next week? And now it's, who are we going to have on? What are we going to talk about? What are we posting? Who's in our stories? Who's been messaging?
But everybody I've been having on, there's a connection, a total connection with my career. And it's been amazing, just amazing, you know. And I'm working on a documentary. Yeah. No, I want everything to be out there. And it's so exciting, this part of my life right now.
Yeah.
Working on with Kelly and on some great new things, and it's been wow. There are no words. And thank you so much. And I'm gonna see everybody next week. And I apologize again that I couldn't go to Comic-Con Pasadena. You know, because everybody didn't want me to get sick, you know, and of course nobody likes to get sick. But I was game, you know, the show must go on. And I'll see you next week. I love you for
now I have to get
in.
up because the phone is 7 feet away.
Yeah. And thank you again. And thank you, Kelly.
And thank you, everybody who's got badges. And thank you,
What are
everybody who's here.
badges?
I honestly don't know, but they make it. See, DJ Ruby Hart bought badges, so thank
I
you.
have no idea.
None of us
explain
do.
it to me. I don't know what. I'm not, badges like a cop has?
No, it's something Instagram's doing, but it's
okay.
okay because
I thought
everybody's
people were going to
special
wear
here.
my name on their
They
lapel.
should. They should.
Thank you again. Love you. To be continued.